letting your pelvis tilt. So as you're inhaling, it's tilting forward. As you're exhaling, it's tilting back. Noticing also movement in your shoulders. So as you're inhaling, your shoulder blades coming together on your back. As you're exhaling, they're separating. Take one more round. And then come back to center. And we'll do a side stretch here by inhaling at center at table. And then exhale, gaze over your right shoulder at your right foot. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale over your left shoulder at your left foot. And just doing this a few times on your own, making a gentle C shape with your spine. Tuning into sensation in your body. And then slowly coming back after you finish next on the left, come back to center. So we'll do the sequence we did on our back, we'll do it from table as well. We'll start by bringing our right leg back, but keep your toes on the floor or on your mat and press through your heels. So breathe into the back of your right leg, waking up your calf and your hamstring. And then keeping your foot active like this, flexed. Lift your foot like you're pressing against an imaginary wall, keeping the hips even, and then lift your left arm. So now we're adding in balance, which we didn't have to worry about on our back because we have the ground underneath our back. So if this is too much on your right wrist, you can always do it with just the leg, or you can always keep the toes down. Take a breath here. And then I'm going to add in an optional dynamic movement of exhaling and bringing elbow to knee underneath you. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, round in. Inhale, extend. So moving slowly with your breath. Adapt it to what you need. If you want to bring both hands down, just do the leg. And take a break whenever you need to. Think about having the palm facing in like you're shaking someone's hand when you're extending out, and keeping the foot flexed when you're extending out. And then pause the next time you're reaching. And then let's slowly bring the hand down, the knee down, and just shake our hips side to side. And let's sink back, if this is okay on your knees, just sink back on your heels for a moment. If it's better to sit cross-legged, you could do that. We're going to give our wrists a break, do some wrist circles. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to table. We'll do the other side. So at first, just again, settling into your table where your fingers are spread nice and wide. Your wrists are under your shoulders, but if you're taking care of your wrists, you could bring them a little forward or turn the hands out. And then we'll extend the left knee long. And then keep the toes on the ground at first to reach through your heel. Take a breath or two. And then lift the leg when you're ready and lift the right arm like you're shaking someone's hand. And just take a breath or two to find your steadiness and feel your core engage. And neck is long, so you're gazing down at the ground in front of you. And now with your exhale, you might begin to add some movement. Bending knee and elbow together. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, round in. Finding your rhythm and your pace, continuing to move with your breath. And adjust as you need to. So can you be mindful of moving with control, so we're not just moving fast to get it done, right? Different than maybe a exercise class where you're just trying to get reps. We're trying to still move with control, move being guided by our breath. And then when you're ready, and I never count, so when it feels even or balanced on both sides, extend out long. And then bring the hand and the knee down and shake the hips. So now I'm going to invite you for a stretch for the feet to tuck your toes under And then sit back on your heels. Now, if this is too intense or if you have any injuries in your toes, you can skip it, or you can always lift your hips up. But if it's okay, see if you can sit back on your toes like this. And again, we'll do some wrist circles. Take a few breaths. If it gets too intense, lift up or untuck your toes. This is a really good stretch for our feet. And then when you're ready, we'll come back down and we'll transition to downward facing dog. So in down dog, we'll usually bring our hands slightly forward and then tuck our toes under and lift the hips up. And have your feet at least hip distance apart, even wider. They could come as wide as your mat. Maybe you walk in place here. Let your neck really release. So maybe shake your head gently, yes and no. Gazing back at your legs or your belly. And if it gets too intense to hold this, feel free to come down to table again. So we'll take maybe 2 more breaths here, really lifting the hips up high. And then we're going to bend our knees, gaze forward, and we're going to